Hi, my name is Claire Walsh. I'm the head teacher of Hendredenny Park Primary School in Caerphilly, and the phonic programme that we have been using since 2010 is Read Write Ink. As far as we're concerned, this is a really effective programme, and nearly all of our children at the end of year 2 are able to read to a good standard. There is extensive training available for this programme. If you are new to this scheme, it is recommended that the whole school is trained in a 2-day package by a specialised expert in Read Write Ink from the Ruth Miskin Company. In addition to this 2-day training, there is also regional training available, fairly local in Cardiff, and they offer what they call development days, where you'll be visited by a Read Write Ink expert twice a year, and they will help to monitor and evaluate provision and give you tips and help you draw up an action plan to see where you need to go next in order to improve the results for the children. There is also extensive online training. There are videos which you can follow, bespoke packages for your particular area of Read Write Ink that you are delivering. For example, if you are delivering in the reception class and you are just introducing initial sounds and ditties, there is a package for that. And at the other end of the scale, with the grey level books, there's a pathway to explain how you will teach at that level, including the spelling and the grammar and the punctuation and the fluency aspects to Read Write Ink. There are also extensive resources available for, and if I can, I'm going to try and share my screen with you to show you some of the resources that are available. So it's just coming on now. I hope you are able to see this. So as I have already mentioned, there are online resources available, and you can see here, this is the online training that is available, and within each of these rectangles here, you can click on a particular aspect of training that you would want. On this next slide here, this is another online portal which has all of the resources that you might need for Read Write Ink, including the handbooks, which have all of the lesson plans in. And within this aspect too, it has all of the words that you will need to help deliver the programme for each of the coloured level books that there are. So these are some of the resources we have in a bit more detail here. So there are 2 handbooks. We've only got the one here. This is for the lower part of the scheme. And there's a yellow handbook too for the higher areas of the scheme. But these are all available online. And this book here has got the Reading Leaders book, as you can see, because one of the aspects of Read Write Ink is to have a leader who monitors and undertakes all of the assessments that are available and keeps a handle on all of the changes. Because it's online, there are quite often updated resources, so the reading leader would check online regularly and remind the staff delivering the programme any little tweaks or any more resources that are available. So on this next slide here, these are some of the initial resources used to introduce the scheme. So here we have the picture cards. So there's a bear there, so that would go along with teaching the sound B. And then you've got your set 1 speed sounds. So you can see you've got, this is the one side where you've got Maisie, mountain, mountain, and the straight M on the other side. So these are some of the schemes, some of the cards. Here we have the green words, and once the children have been introduced to these first 5 sounds, they're already starting to blend and use their what we call Fred talk. And there's Fred there. Fred is the frog who can only speak in Fred talk. So he would say and the children would put that together to blend to say mad. So this slide here shows the second set of sounds. So we have set 2 speed sounds. So these are the vowel sounds, the different graphemes for the vowels. And again, we have the green words where the children have been taught the sound, and then they are seeing the words that are using these sounds, these special friends in the words. And then we go on to set 3, and we have the rest of the sounds. So there are the 44 the 44 phonemes available, and the corresponding green cards with those as well. In addition to that, we have these resources. So we have what we call the speed sound charts, which we have up in the classroom. So this is the more simple one. So you have the initial sounds here, and then you have the set 2 sounds at the bottom here. And this one has all of the phonemes with their corresponding graphemes on the chart. And you would use this daily to show the children how the one sound, for example, s, has all of these different ways of writing and spelling. In addition to that, we have red words. Red words you cannot thread a red. These are the sight words that the children need to learn, because we cannot break them down. They have what we call tricky parts to their words. Also, as part of the scheme, we have these blue words, which are called nonsense words. These nonsense words just help to see if the children are able to identify the sounds, the special friends they have been learning in their lessons. So this has got the sound, care and share, and they would be able to recognise that and be able to say, and we'd say, what a lot of nonsense. But it is, and the philosophy behind this is, as young children are learning to read, they will often come up with words that they do not know. So they may as well be a nonsense word as far as they're concerned. But the way to teach this programme is special friends, Fred talk, read the word. And this helps them. So they would do that in their normal reading if they don't know a word. This next slide shows some of the reading books. So the coloured books that they move up in as they can decode them. All of these books here are decodable, and they would be linked to the sounds they have learnt and to the green and the red words they have learnt very systematically. These books there's 10 or 12 books which are fiction, and then there's another set of non-fiction books in each of these colours. There are additional books too if you need them. Alongside that, we have book bag books which match exactly the sounds and the words that children have been learning, and these can be used for homework or they can be used for guided reading, whichever way that you would want to have them use them. So these are a photograph of how the resources are set up in the classroom. So in each of the areas where the children are being taught in their small groups, you would have a simple sound chart and you would have a pocket chart. And in this pocket chart, you can see there is a book, there is the title, there is the words and the red words and the sounds, and there's a picture there showing the story. So that is for one of the simpler ditty books. Here is one of the higher level books, and this one has got, as you can see, the more complex speed sound. Here, this is how we organise it. So there is a lot of organising to do, but once it's done, it's very, very easy to use. So within the book is the pack that the teacher or the TA delivering to that particular group will use. So all of the books are in there, all of the cards are in there, the sounds are in there, and this is a copy of the lesson plan. So the lesson plans are all done for you. They're either in the handbook or you can go online to Oxford Owl and download them. This next slide here just shows very, very briefly the teaching sequence, how we teach it. So first step is there is a very thorough, rigorous assessment that is completed every 6 weeks, or you can do it more often if you feel they're ready. So the children are assessed and they are put into groups according to their ability. From then, they are then assigned a teacher or a teaching assistant, and they will be allocated where they should slot it into the programme according to, it comes as a letter, and that letter will correspond to a colour of the book where they will be reading. So in that, then they will be reading their sounds, they will be doing their reading of whole words, they will be working in partners, they will be doing choral answers, they will be doing their spelling in these sessions, and these are magnetic letters, which they can also use to build up work, especially in the younger classes, in reception class, they can use those. So you've got teaching the sounds there, you've got teaching the words with Fred. Fred is helping them to blend the words. You've got green words and red words. Then they will be going on to their reading and their writing activities. So they will read the books in pairs, and then there will be activities when they get to the yellow, blue and grey levels, the higher levels, into end of year 1 and into year 2, where they will be learning grammar and punctuation. There is a writing part too. In our school, we have decided not to do the writing part. That will be done back in class with the teacher, because it's too complicated to manage that, we feel, because it would mean groups of children within the same class all being taught a different genre of writing. So we think that that is too complicated. And then they will be assessed, and they are levelled and regrouped according to how far they have in the programme. There is very, very extensive tracking, and there are expectations for the end of each half term where we think that the children should be. And if they are not there, what also runs alongside this programme is a one-to-one tutoring, which means that the children can be withdrawn for a short period of time, either for just 5 or 10 minutes, either on their own or in a pair or a small group, just for 5-10 minutes, to go through the sounds that they need, go through the red words, go through the green words. Because you have a small group of children, the recommendation is totally to be taught in groups according to their ability. That is how the programme is designed. You can teach it as a whole class, certainly lower down in the school, but it will mean you're not always meeting the child's direct needs. Where this is such a good scheme, we feel, is that the teachers or the teaching assistant, because they have a smallish group, they're able to identify sounds, words, the children who are not reading fluently enough, and they will pick them up to go into the one-to-one tutoring session in the afternoon. And that can be any child at all. It's not to do with the child having additional learning needs. You know, obviously we do have those. The aim of the programme is that it is suitable for all children to learn to read. In terms of parent involvement, there's lots of material online for parents. We always hold a reading meeting for our parents each term. I tend to do it in September of each year, and I invite nursery, reception, or any of the year 1, 2, if they might have missed it, they're late to our school, and I go through the programme. We do send books home with the children. We can send flashcards. We have information on our website, so we can tell parents exactly where they are. They're also online little videos which we can share with parents, and they last for up to 6 weeks, and we set them for homework. So we will group the children, for example, in reception class, and they're all on level C, so they will have those videos. They can be sent home for the parents to watch with their children, so there is not any problem with the parents mispronouncing some of the sounds, because some of them are a little bit tricky, and it does take a little while to get your head around it, especially if you are new to the scheme. I struggle to get the sound right, and to make sure you don't do that extra so you don't say k, you don't say k, you say k. I would say, what are the drawbacks to the scheme? It can be expensive. You know, there are whole school deals that they do. At the moment, I can see that there's 20% off if you're buying the school bundle. I was having a look on the website last night. There are also the cost of training. The whole school training is several £1,000, I believe. But there are other schools around, and you can join with them. The individual training is not too expensive. And the online can be. Also, staffing it can sometimes be a little bit tricky too, depending on how many TAs you have. We drag all of our TAs into it to make sure that each group, as according to how the children are assessed in group, have a teacher or a TA to lead that group. I will take a group too. Some schools will struggle if staff are off, but because the whole school is trained, you know, I will steal, if you like, a TA from Key Stage 2 to come down into foundation learning area to take a group, or sometimes we will put a group together if there is a staff shortages, you know, even if staff have gone out on a school trip. We do try and teach it as it is, as it says in the book, if you like. You know, there are adaptations that you can make. You know, there is no law to say you have to do it as you like, but we have found, you know, if we teach it as suggested and keep up to date with it, we have found it is really, really effective way to get our children reading, and they're in good stead when they get into year 3. You know, they can all read well. Reading was highlighted in our recent ESTID inspection as a spotlight for the way that we deliver reading in our school. But it is because of the way that we use Read Write Ink.